What's up everybody, it's Jack/Outlaw here, and we're going to do a post Pacific Crest Trail Q&A. I really love these Q&A videos. I love talking about the trail. So thank you for everyone who asked a question, and let's just get on into it. How soon till you do an ultra with me? This is my good friend Matt from college. He is a surgeon and a very accomplished ultramarathon runner. Kudos to you, my friend. I don't know. I'm enjoying resting right now, as you can probably tell. I would like to do an ultra just to see what it's like to essentially slack pack and just run. That's how a thru-hiker, I guess, would see it. But you find a good ultra, we'll do it. Forest or desert on the PCT? Okay, so I thought about this pretty hard. Desert, if you're talking about Oregon forest, and forest if you're talking about Washington old growth forest over desert, if that makes sense. Because the desert is so beautiful in its own right, but the Oregon forest got really old. I know that's a really common opinion and not everyone loves Oregon. And I'm not saying Oregon wasn't beautiful, it just, the forest in Oregon got very repetitive. What was the coolest encounter you had with an animal on trail? My coolest encounter / scariest encounter was when I was night hiking. I saw a pair of green eyes and I beamed it, and it was a bear that was not scared of me at all. Of course, I was in the Tahoe area, so that was to be expected. But the actual coolest encounter I think we had as a group was when a bear was standing over Tick Shot and he was cowboy camping. I wish I got to see it. I wish I got to film it, but I didn't. As soon as I opened up my tent and looked out to my right, the bear was already gone and Tick Shot had scared it off. But that would have been pretty cool. And it was just pretty cool to know there was a bear 3 feet away from my tent standing over my friend. Really crazy, but I think he was just curious and was just sniffing around. Even though you made it look a lot easier than it is, what is the most challenging part for you? So it wasn't easy, I promise you. No matter how easy I made it look, it was hard as hell. Physically, you really get there on the trail, but I would say even at the end, you start to deteriorate, at least for me. Mentally was the most challenging part. I think just staying in the game, staying focused, staying motivated, staying positive, mentally was tough. I would say that's the most challenging aspect of the hike, because logistically, the PCT isn't too bad, and physically, it's not the worst trail in the world either. It's just more, it's a very long through hike. I think, by the time I had gotten done, I had walked realistically close to 2,800 miles with all the roadwalks and the bailouts and the blue blazes. So I think that is the hardest part, at least for me. Can you talk about post-trail depression? Have you ever experienced that? I never really have experienced that. I got done with the Colorado Trail and I was just so stoked and accomplished, and the backpacking season was kind of coming to an end anyway. And then I got to do some other trails after that, which I think helped. And then on this trail, I've only been off for 4 days, so I can't really tell you, but what I can say is that I was excited to do all these boring things that I'm doing now, probably 500 miles ago. Like, sitting here in my condo in Denver, working on editing photos and working on this documentary, just drinking water whenever I want and eating food whenever I want. All of these things have made being off trail not bad, just different. And I'm enjoying all of these creature comforts and luxuries, and I'm sure I'm going to miss the trail. I'm going to keep recreating and I'm going to keep backpacking, and we'll just take it as it comes. But I'm just trying to stay busy, and I think that's going to help a lot. So, what was your least favorite part about hiking the PCT? This is such an easy one. The rain. When we would get rained on for days in a row and be wet and cold and miserable, to me, everyone who likes hiking in the rain is completely insane. I wish I could do it. I wish I had that superpower. I don't know what is wrong with you all, but congrats, because I hate it. It is terrible. I hated it on the Colorado Trail. It's depressing, it's just not fun. Nothing good about that. So yeah, hiking in the rain, back to back, crappy weather, least favorite part. How much does your beard weigh by now? Thanks, Polar Bear, for that question. Actually, shout out to you. Super awesome you finished the whole trail. Loved hiking with you if you're watching this for the 1500 that we shared. And I hope you had a fun time with Tajark in the Sierra. I think it probably weighs a few ounces. It is pretty long. It's really forming to be something, but I'd say a few ounces. Other than Wilson, what was the most important creature comfort item that you carried? Hands down, my Thermarest pad. My Thermarest pad saved me on so many occasions from being just miserably cold or uncomfortable on rocks or hard ground. I love that thing. It came in so handy. That R value 7 was absolutely necessary for probably 10 plus nights on the PCT, especially towards the end when it started to get very cold in the Sierra in September. Camping up at 10,000, 11,000 feet, I just absolutely loved my Thermarest pad. Was there anything the hike helped clear your mind of or process? Yeah, 100%. The hike made me think about my entire life in a new way. I know that sounds cliche. I know that sounds like every thru hiker. But the thing is when you sit out and slow down in the wilderness for 140 to 120 to however long it takes you days, you start to think differently. You start to think more presently, at least for me, and you start to think about just the day. And you slow down your life, and you don't have the anxiety, you don't have any of the bad thoughts. You're just sitting in the moment and you're enjoying it with other people, or you're hating the moment with other people. And either way, you're just present right there and then, and you just do the same thing, and it's so simple. So it ripped me out of my corporate, robotic lifestyle that was fine. I was happy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I needed a change. I needed a different perspective, and I think the hike gave me that. And I am so grateful that I got to experience something like this, because it's truly unexplainable. So I think it helped me just process how to be more present, how to be more grateful, and just enjoy life, even if you're just sitting in your condo doing nothing. Best view on the trail? Best view on the trail was, I think the most unique view on the trail was when I was on Goat Rocks and I saw the 3 volcanoes at once, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Adams all at once. That was so cool. But man, there was some really, really great views on trail. I'd say my second to that was Muir Pass, the north side, when the sun was setting and it turned the lakes gold. That was undescribably beautiful. And then a runner-up to that was probably in the Northern Cascades when me and Polar Bear went over Fire Creek Pass towards sundown, and we saw just the blue reflections of the rugged Cascades and a storm cloud with a beam of sun coming through it, turning it orange and red and just pink and these beautiful colors. There was so many breathtaking views. I could do this all day, y'all. So I'm going to say those 3 were really, really special. I always wondered how Wilson coped with trail conditions. He looks pretty exposed there on your shoulder strap, having to deal with rain, hail, sun, sweat, blowdowns, etc. Do I plan to do more thru hikes? Yes, I plan to do more thru hikes. I know the first one is always going to be the most special, but I know that if you did this again, it would be just as beautiful, just as rewarding, and there's still just more I want to see. I love hiking. I love long distance backpacking. I don't want to just do one and be done. It's a huge time commitment, and luckily Jackie supports me in all this, because I think you have to have a partner that does. Otherwise it makes it pretty tough unless you're just riding solo. So I will do another thru hike. It might be the CDT first, because I already did 400, 300 miles of that on the CT. That trail interests me the most. But the AT also piques my interest just to see what everyone's talking about. Like, why is it so special? Why do people want to hike it twice? I just want to know if there's something that I'm not seeing there, because to me it just doesn't seem as appealing as the CDT, but who knows? I will do another one though. And Wilson copes with everything really well just because he's a DSLR. It's a plastic body camera. It's really, really built well. It's weatherproof. I covered him up in the rain. I didn't really mess with him in the hard, heavy rain or hail. But like, I walked through, bushwhacking parts with him, and like, he's been banged up. I've fallen down so many times on that trail. I fell a lot on the Pacific Crest Trail, actually. I'm really glad I came out okay, but it's just a sturdy camera. That's why I opted for a DSLR like Wilson. Thank you so much for sharing your epic journey. Wishing you good health, good trail conditions, and safe hiking. Thank you, thank you. What were your longest desert water carries and the longest food carry in my bear canister? Longest food carry in my bear canister was at the end. It was about 130 miles. Thank you to all the JMTers, because I had a BB450. That was really hard. I don't think I would have made Whitney and Mulkey Pass as comfortable if I didn't get some food from people along the way. And my longest desert water carries were like 22 miles. I did one with Turtle, and maybe a little bit above 20 some other time. There was actually fairly some long carries in Oregon. Southern Oregon was really dry. So it's not that bad. You get used to conserving water, and it's not what you think as far as how torturous. Granted, if it's super hot, yeah, it's not fun. I can't wait to see your time in the Sierra. I have a question about what sections might be super weather dependent, of course, in October. Yeah, happy to answer that for you. I was in the Sierra early June. I was in the Sierra early September and late August into mid-September. So I guess it would depend on where you were going, what trail you were hiking, but drop a comment if you watch this video, and I'd be happy to just answer that more in depth to give you what you're looking for. Great job. I am inspired. Are you going back to complete the Sierra? Please consider making a video on how to prepare, route, and resupply points for us. Well, went back to the Sierra and I hiked every mile of the trail. I am so grateful that I got to do that. So there's your answer to that. I'm glad I inspired you. That is the greatest compliment I can ever get on these videos. And I will make a video probably talking about how I did my hike, how I flipped, how I did logistics, and what you can do as far as resupply options in the Sierra. If you watch this, please drop a comment, like more specifically on what you want to see, like the JMT, the PCT portion of the High Sierra, just so I can get an idea there. How is the relations with others on trail been? Funny stories from meeting people at weird places, comments? Yeah, I mean, our group, Inspector, Weatherman, Polar Bear, for the longest time, I mean, we have so many funny stories and so many good times. I can't list them all here. And then when I met up with Tick Shot and Handstand and Hot Mom and just everyone else I met on trail, like everyone was so friendly, so nice, so many good times. We all understand each other. We all know where we've been and what we've experienced, and you just connect with people very, very quickly, and you're comfortable with them very, very fast. I think it's such a unique relationship you just can't find in the real world. And these people come from all different countries, walks of life, jobs, professions, and it doesn't matter. And on the trail, there's this instant connection that happens just because of the nature of a through hike. So there's so many stories, there's so many things where I've met people at weird places and whatnot, but I feel like that's a whole thing in itself. But to answer your question, the relations have been amazing. Very, very few and far between bad interactions on trail. Hi Jack, well done capturing beautiful images and videos of the trail. I'm curious how you will do adjusting to life after the trail, and will you and Jackie live in your van, travel, work? So, funny enough, we actually talked about this on the way back from the Sierra, and she picked me up from my finish at Mulkey Pass and eventually Horseshoe Meadows. Yeah, so I think adjusting to trail is going to be just staying busy, working on stuff, not just feeling like it's all over, because it's not. It's just a break in between the next thing. And just enjoying the normal life. I enjoy it, so it's a nice break from the trail, to be honest. Doesn't mean I won't want to get back on, of course I will. So yeah, I think just enjoying normal life for now. And then what we plan to do, we might actually rent this place and then work in our van doing remote stuff, and then save up for kind of like an early retirement travel thing. We've always talked about taking a year off and traveling. Jackie hasn't done anything like that, you know, in her career, and I have, so I'd love to experience that with her. Maybe even do the AT together or another hike together. No idea, but that's kind of the plan in progress, if you will. About doing a gear video on how things switched over time on the trail, definitely. I will do that, because even though my gear didn't switch a whole lot, I think there were things that happened, and if I didn't switch things out, it would have been quite unfortunate. So I will talk about that a little bit, and why I switched some things out, and what made me do that. All right, that is all of them, I believe, unless I didn't check Instagram late enough and some of the questions were lost. So if you all do have any more questions, post them in the comments below. I love making these videos. I love talking about the trail, obviously. And if you have any specific things you'd like to get answered, I'll do a part 2. And if we get enough questions, and do another one of these. They're super fun. So I guess I'm going to get back to work here on photos and videos and whatnot, and I will keep releasing the vlogs. I'm almost done with those. They're coming together. There's only about 3 or 4 more left, all of the High Sierra. So yeah, double video day today, and I will see you all on the next one.